I've worked all of my life to live in Italy. We found this place, and now this is our place, and it means everything to me. I love that Tuscan food, it's about basic ingredients and the quality of them. It can take a long time. There's braised meats, there's slow-cooked ragus and sauces and things. Rabbit, ragu, you need a carrot, you need some crushed garlic. This is mafalde, sage and thyme. We're marrying sauce with pasta. So we mix all of this together. I always like a little bit of green. Boom! Food is a conduit. We make food to take us away to places we've never been and dream about going to. You just need your imagination and a couple of bucks, and you have a ticket to anywhere. So come on over. I love this place. I hope you do too. The weird thing about the entree for this is Maria won't eat any of it. Do you know why? It's made out of rabbit. Coniglio in Italy, rabbit in Italy, is very common. And my mother learned, the nicest way I can place it, is my mother learned very early in life not to name the rabbits. Winter would come and you have to make sauces. So every time in my life that we made a white ragu, which is ragu that is not with beef, okay? It was always with rabbit or chicken, but most often with rabbit. So we have hot olive oil in a giant brazier. Now, you don't need this at home. 2 to 4 people do not need this. You need a carrot. You need some crushed garlic. You need some little bit of celery, maybe a big rib from the outer or 2 ribs from the center, and a small onion. And I like crushed garlic. But you definitely don't need as much as I'm doing here for a crowd, okay? I have 2 of everything. I have 2 little onions, I have 2 carrots, I have 2 celery, blah, 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 blah. These are not crushed enough for me. When we say crushed, what do we mean? Crushed. Boop. Same thing as chopping it. So we let this cook out a bit. This is the ground rabbit. You can use ground chicken if you're afraid of ground rabbit. For every 4 people, you need a pound for the ragu. This is ragu. What does ragu mean? Ragu means thick sauce. We always need to salt pasta cooking water. Why? Why do we do that? When we use dry pasta, as we are today, this is mafalde. It's like you took lasagna and you murdered it, and you cut off the sides. In Italy, mostly you have egg pasta in flat sheets. They're quicker cooking. You don't need to boil them first. It's a long story. But when you make lasagna in Italy, you don't have to have the ridgy things. You don't have to par cook it and all that junk. But we do love mafalda. Again, we can put anything with this. It's a rare sauce. Sometimes when we have a ragu, we have a sauce that can go with anything. This is very rare. In Italy, we put thin things with thin sauces. We put thick things with chunky pastas. We have, like, there's a set of rules for how pasta is used. This is one of those rare instances where a meaty sauce can be used in a variety of ways, okay? So we're taking our mirepoix, our mise en place, our things in place in all of our prepared veggies. And now we sweat them out a little bit. We put in salt to draw out the liquid. When you can smell everything, that means the pan is ready for you to move forward. Now you need to move forward. So this is a whole lot of dead rabbit. Twice what you would need for a family of 4 to 6, especially if you have children in the house. But we have a lot of grown-ups here. So we're putting in an entire rabbit, finely chopped, and I put this through the grinder on my food processor, or you can hand chop it. Takes a longer time. When I hand chop rabbit, John leaves the room. He can't handle it. He loves to eat it, but he can't handle watching it. If you can't be responsible for the food you eat, then you're eating the wrong food. So don't let food divide you from any recipe. You can always adapt anything. There are so many beautiful plant proteins out there today and substitutions you can make so easily and readily at every grocery store you already go to. It's such an easy thing. Don't let this be a bother. Every single thing I cook, you can cook too in your own way. And you should. Be responsible for your body and your stomach and what you share with people. That's all I'm trying to, not even preach, share. Life feels better when you share it with other people. The easiest way to share it with other people is to make them food. They will come. It's just like the baseball movie. I happen to be a huge baseball fan. If you build it, they will come. If you cook it, they will come. So now we're going to throw in our herbs, and I tied them together just so we could get them out of the pan quickly. So this is sage and thyme. Get some meat wrapped around it, okay? So now we're going to throw in our herbs, and I tied them together just so we could get them out of the pan quickly. So this is sage and thyme, boop, and a little bit of rosemary. And we drop that in there. And guys, I don't mean just let it sit there. I mean get it in there. Get some heat on it. Get some meat wrapped around it, okay? Really get in there. Juniper berries. I make my own gin. Weird, right? Super weird. But I'm a cook who also makes spirits. Juniper is the difference between vodka and gin. Juniper and other ingredients that you can choose from are it. They're distilled, very clear liquor, and you can flavor them with aromatics while you add spirits. I use these flavors all the time together in slow stewed meats and in ragus. I love the combination of juniper. Now we're going to add wine. White, red, either is fine. But it's a white sauce, so I'm gonna go with white wine. 2 turns of the pan. And then we're going to go with stock to cook it out. This is actually bone broth. Bone broth from my friend Marco, near my house, lives a couple blocks away, works a couple blocks away. So we let this all simmer for a bit. Okay, guys, here's our water. It needs to be salted. I know this looks ridiculous, but you should season the water as if it's like, kind of like seawater. And this is mafalda. As I said, it's like the edges of American-style lasagna, the curly edges of that. But you can use, this is a very unusual recipe. You could use short or long pasta for this. You really could. And that's unusual. Italian recipes especially are very specific. I have a lot of people to feed here, so I'm going a little heavy on the pasta. I'm cooking 2 packages, which is almost a full kilo. Well, it actually is a full kilo. It's 2 pounds. You don't need that. For every 4 people, you need 1 pound of pasta, okay? And that's generous. Like, you guys are gonna be eating and eating and eating, okay? And mafalda cooks up very fat and strong, so we're in good shape. Whenever we cook dry pasta, it's very important to keep aside a measuring cup or a ladle, a big ladle, so we can add at least a cup of starchy, salty cooking water to marry the pasta sauce to the pasta itself. Whether that's pesto, especially important when it's pesto, or it's a ragu, which is a meat sauce that's thicker, or a very dense, heavy vegetable sauce. Whenever we're marrying things, we need that magic, okay? This is the magic, the starchy, salty cooking water added to whatever is in our other pan with whatever sauce or toppings we're doing. That's the magic that really happens. Now, when we're making ragus that involve meat or seafood, okay, we always have to make sure that the little bits are broken up a bit before we start combining everybody together, right? Before we let them get married, we gotta make sure everybody's proper and cool. It's like an arranged marriage. Okay, then we have to make sure we have that marrying device, right? This is like having a, I don't know, an officiant at your wedding. And then we have to have cheese. I use pecorino and parm because I live in the region of Pecorino and my next door neighbor is Parmigiano Reggiano. So I have a mixture of both. So we mix all of that together and we put it on the table and people cry. Well, hopefully. In Tuscany, white ragu is made with rabbit. In America, you can make it with chicken. I made both. Maybe tonight even my sister will try the rabbit one. When the sauce gets close, the rabbit ragu, which you can also make with ground chicken, yes. The first time I made this in Italy, I was at my friend's house. He doesn't even care for dogs, but he let us stay in his house while our house was being built out. Michael Chaffee, beautiful person, scared about dogs, like being on his property. Not scared, but like not a fan of, right? Said absolutely. Whatever they need. We stayed there, and the luggage tag on my bag is of her looking out the window at the first time she ever saw Tuscany. She was about 2.5 years old. And it was the most beautiful picture I've ever seen in my life. This dog, you know, dogs have big sniffers that are like 10,000 times the strength of your sniffers. Your nose. And the idea that she was standing at that window smelling all of Tuscany at the same time at my dear friend's house who loaned it to us. I mean, I can't even. So one of the nights I was there, I wanted to make rabbit sauce. I love rabbit. So I wanted to make a white ragu. And in Tuscany, white ragu is made with rabbit, coniglio. In America, you can make it with chicken. So I made both because my sister and, well, my husband can't watch me butcher it, but he eats rabbit. But he doesn't love it because I also use rabbit for another very Tuscan dish, Hunter's rabbit or Hunter's chicken. In America, it's called cacciatore. It's still called cacciatore here, but Italians make it, well, with rabbit. So we make a rabbit dish with giant pieces of rabbit and mushrooms largely because it's about foraging and hunters being out in the woods, okay? You can buy rabbit in America. It's not an exotic thing and everybody sells it. But honestly, this dish is delicious with ground chicken too. I proved it, I put it on the table. The weird part was everyone loved the rabbit most. It was gone first. And maybe tonight even my sister will try the rabbit one. So I finished this dish with cream. That is not necessary. It is delicious as is if you're a person that can't eat dairy. It's still delicious with this stock and vegetable stock or chicken stock, delicious. But if you can have cream, it really does make a beautiful finish for the dish. That's just my opinion. But food is very personal. And I try and explain this to people all the time. What I make, what I try and write, what I try and share with you, these are suggestions. Everything a musician does, or a cook, or even a scientist, we all riff off of each other. We are just taking the same notes, the same keys, the same key ingredients, and riffing off each other. It's a salute to each other, love to each other, and trying to show our individuality. There is nothing wrong in anything that lets you express who you are, whether that's music, art, food, whatever. You be you is all anyone who works in this type of business is trying to make you do. Be inspired to be yourselves, not us, but yourselves. You be you. You take this and make this yours, and it would make me happiest. We're marrying sauce with pasta, and we add piano piano, a little bit of that starchy water, pecorino, and parmigiano. So we mix all of this together. They like each other. So now we're marrying. This is a very important step. Very important step. We're marrying sauce with pasta. And we add piano piano, a little bit of that starchy water as we go. So important. And we add some, I like to use pecorino and parmigiano. They're next door neighbors. They like each other. They like to go to parties together. So we mix all of this together. And it's a lot. It's not a little, it's a lot. We got a lot of people here, so we want to make them happy. And we just keep tossing and tossing and tossing. And we'll see whether or not Maria dares to try a bite. We'll see. We'll see. And I don't know what it is about me, but I always like a little bit of green to finish anything. Just is who I am. So we have to take a touch of at least grassy parsley. Now, some people don't care for parsley. I don't know why. It just tastes grassy and fresh. But I always like a little bit, and a lot of people say it's superfluous and kind of BS. I don't. I think it's lovely and grassy, and a tiny bit doesn't hurt anything, and it just adds a little bit of, hello, hi, hi, friend. To make my sister happy, we will put it in the pretty dish because she likes pretty things. Our serving utensils and our sprinkle of something green and pretty. And there you go, by request, rabbit pasta.